Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am your host Diamond, and today I'm on episode 2 of the Breakup Saga, is I guess what I'm calling it. I hope saga is not like a number of some sort. Anyway, breaking up. And we're gonna talk about the next thing. Last episode we talked about moving on, and when I say moving on, I'm talking about the process of leaving a relationship, like a journey. Not necessarily like I'm over them, blah blah blah. I don't know what I'm doing with my shirt. I am so sorry. But like moving on from this relationship. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is, I think almost everyone's reaction post relationship is getting back out there. I'm breaking this up with getting back out there and then rebranding yourself, because I feel like these are two different things. The first thing, getting back out there, relates directly to that innate, like, knee-jerk reaction to go and meet other people to get your mind off something else. So we're going to talk about this real fast, or not, because you know me, I talk way too much. Anyway, we're going to jump right in it. What I need you to think about before you jump into a new relationship or dating is, why exactly are you doing that? Are you doing it because you genuinely feel like, I'm ready to date other people? Or, I really need to know if I'm ready to date other people? Or, I'm bored, I'm horny, I'm lonely. So, when you do decide immediately after a relationship that you want to start dating, and with the rise of dating apps, it's so easy for you to break up with someone and then within the same night have a date. You need to really have your bases covered and understanding why exactly you're trying to do that. And for some people, they're like, I don't, have emotional attachments to people, because I can get out like that. For some of us, that's harder. So I need you to kind of have an understanding on why you're trying to get out there, which means that timing matters. Timing matters. Timing matters. Last episode, I was telling you all about how time is not your enemy. Let's go hands in hand with it. Timing matters. You need to understand if you've gone through the grief process enough to actually interact healthily with another person. Don't necessarily make other people the guinea pigs of your am I okay experiment, not experience. Will be an experience for them, because they're gonna have a terrible experience. Like, really come to understand, have I spent enough time dwelling on this person? So last episode, I did tell you that when it comes to revenge, when it comes to trying to reconnect, you're dwelling too much on this other person. So if you feel as though you trying to reconnect with other people, or you trying to date other people as a means to reconnect with the person you just left, please keep your ass at home and don't date nobody. Don't get on Bumble, don't get on Tinder, don't get on Hinge, don't get on whatever else apps out there. Keep your ass at home if you're only trying to get over another person. Because to you, it makes all the sense in the world, because you're occupying yourself. But to someone else who may fall in love with you, who may spend time with you and realize you're fantastic, you are wasting their time. You are. Because ultimately, in most cases, when it comes to the step or talking about let's be in a relationship, that's when it comes to light that you are not ready to be in a relationship with someone that's not the person you just left. And while some people are very graceful with this, they're very much like, you know what? Okay, I understand. I would have appreciated you telling me you're still hung up on your ex. Some people ain't gonna take it well. And I recommend that you try to figure out what kind of person that is before you do that, because you might get your tires slashed. But really understand what is going on and understanding why timing matters. I know quite a few people that feel like they have to immediately go out there and get a date now, because if they don't, then they're going to dwell on the person. Dwelling on your past ex/exes it's a part of the thing. It's gonna happen. You can't, humans are emotional creatures. We there's a hierarchy in our society based on your level of interactions with other people. It's all about who you know, right? And I don't think enough people understand that the detachment from a relationship, whether that be platonic or, romantic, is going to take its toll on you, both, mentally and physically, but it's also going to take a toll on you on how everyone around you sees you. So please keep that in mind. If you're not over your ex, if you're not over your ex-friend, or whatever the situation is, don't use other people as your guinea pig to get over them or to figure out if you are over them. All right? Right? This one, this entire episode is very quick, because it kind of makes sense. I think it makes sense in my head, at least, that when you were trying to interact with someone, regardless on what level, romantic or platonic, I don't think it's fair of you to make them your experience. Your experience. I keep saying experience. Experiment. And a lot of people think, and like, here's the thing. Sometimes you can't time it. Sometimes you really can't tell, where you're like, I'm fine. It's been like a year and I'm over Guinevere Beck or whatever the situation is. But then it turns out, oh my God, I'm seeing them everywhere. Like, I miss when we would do things. And then the idea of you dating this new person scares you, because you're like, oh God, I'm cheating on this person that I'm not with. You're going to have to be real with yourself and realize that that is not a thing that's happening again. Or if it does, be honest with the person you're currently with, because it's unfair of them to become the burden of a broken relationship. So here's an example that I can give you. A friend of mine, she was dating this really dope guy that, you know, they had been doing the casual dating for about a month or two. And then she decided, you know, I'm going to talk to him about being in a relationship. And he was also fine with being in a relationship. He's like, you know, yeah, let's do this. But then maybe a month or two into their actual relationship, in which they were, you know, a couple, he kind of stood back. He's like, I can't do this. I was fine with us being casual. I was fine with us not being a couple. But now I feel like that I'm spending way too much time with you, when in reality I really want to get back with my ex. This whole time you were a great person, but I really want her back. And that hurt her, because she's like, you wasted 3 months of my life. So please be cognizant of what you're doing and who you're affecting, because it is important that you're not wasting other people's time because you feel as though you're ready, but you're not. So that means taking some emotional inventory, looking into yourself about what you actually want out of this relationship. For the people that are like, I just want to get laid, fantastic. Be honest with yourself. You just want to get laid. But for those of you that are like, I want what I had in my last relationship, don't put that burden on that person, on your new person, that is. And like I said, this was a quick one, because this one just is out the gate. Kind of our knee-jerk reaction to being out of a relationship is to immediately jump into one. So our next episode is going to dwell on rebranding yourself. And when I say rebranding yourself, it's not about how am I going to pose myself to be a viable candidate for dating, but whether or not, how am I going to be able to live with myself past this point? Because I know sometimes it feels like your world is crashing, but you will be okay. I can promise you, you will be fine. Anyway, if you're not listening to my podcast, you totally should be, because Matt is now my co-host, and we have been having a lot of fun. Like, he's hilarious, and it's great. So the link is in the description below to sign up on my Patreon to hear my podcast. It's the very first tier, so if that's the only thing you want to deal with, that's fine. It's $2 a month. But it's great, and it's funny, and I think it allows me to talk about more topics like this, but more in depth, give you more personal stories, drop a couple of F-bombs, but whatever you're into, but I think it'll be worth your listening. I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful life, and I'll have a new video for you next week. Bye!